MegaBots is all of the movies, video games, and books we read as children brought to life. Maker Faire is one of the world's largest DIY festivals. We wanted to premiere the MegaBots we read there and show people what brought to life.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, the day before load-in for Maker Faire.
Maker Faire is one of the world's largest DIY festivals.
18 to
We
20
wanted to
days.
premiere the
We're prepping to put her on a lowboy trailer, drive her to Maker Faire.
For Maker Faire, we want to show off the type of reloading weapon that we're going to need for the full arena combat of these robots.
We're under a lot of pressure to get this right in front of a live audience.
Here we go.
Let's hear it, folks! 3, 2, 1. MegaBots has been a great success so far, and next we're going to build the first giant walking robot.
Huge thanks to Maker Faire and Autodesk for helping make this day happen. It's been amazing. We can't wait for mine.
Welcome to MegaBots World Headquarters, the densest concentration of cutting-edge robotics research this side of the Mississippi.
This is where the MegaBot Mark II was born, forged with the fires of American innovation and determination.
We just finished tightening the last bolts on the Mark II, America's first fully functional, giant piloted robot.
And because we're American, we've added really big guns.
Meet the Mark II, 12,000 pounds of gasoline-powered fury. She's piloted by a team of 2 and can fire 3-pound paint cannonballs at speeds of over 100 miles an hour.
But the Mark II isn't the first giant fighting robot in the world. Suidobashi Heavy Industries beat us to the punch with the Kuratas, a 9,000-pound single-seater giant fighting robot with twin Gatling guns, a hyper-advanced targeting system, and a full heads-up display.
Suidobashi, we have a giant robot, you have a giant robot. You know it needs to happen. We challenge you to a duel. Both of our robots will need modifications to become combat ready. Prepare yourselves and name the battlefield. In 1 year, we fight. Suidobashi, we have a giant robot, you have a giant robot. You know it needs to happen. We challenge you to a duel.
いきなり来たから、まあ面白いけどね。まずちょっともうちょっとかっこよく作れよとは言いたいですよね。でかいものに銃つけりゃいいってアメリカ文化、アメリカ丸出しっていうのがね。海外に取られたくないとか、やっぱ日本文化じゃないですか、巨大ロボット。だから、いや、やりますよ、絶対。我々の考えるにはやはり格闘戦、ぶん殴って倒して勝つっていうのをやっぱりやりたいですよね。
You grew up hoping that the giant robot battles of science fiction would become real, and we did too. That dream is 1 year away. Meet the Mark II, America's first fully functional, giant piloted robot.
The movie and TV robot fantasies are about to become reality.
A U.S. robotics company challenged a Japanese firm to a duel of giant robots. Japan said, bring it on.
やはり格闘戦殴って倒して勝つっていうのをやっぱりやりたいですよね。
Duel Japan's on and it's time to throw down. We're gonna need your help to upgrade the Mark II, put on the fight the world's been waiting for, and make history.
The Mark II packs a lot of firepower, but right now she's slow, top-heavy, rusty, and not equipped for melee combat.
The upgraded Mark II will be the definition of an American robot. She'll be 5 times faster and more powerful, self-balancing, and armored for hand-to-hand combat.
Your childhood dreams have arrived. Hear them knocking? Buy a t-shirt and open the door. Now let's meet the Patriots who've signed up to be on Team USA.
My name is Grant Imahara, and for the better part of a decade, I was a Mythbuster.
I'm Trey Roski.
And I'm Greg Munson, and we are the creators of BattleBots.
My name is Michael Howe, and I'm president of Howe & Howe Technologies.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Team IHMC Robotics.
And I'm Doug.
Hi, I'm Dave Lavery.
Hi, my name is Fawn Davis, owner of Fawnco.
Hi, I'm Carl Bass. I'm CEO of Autodesk.
These old treads got no suspension and top out at 2.5 miles per hour. Howe & Howe Technologies has something to say about that.
We developed the world's most advanced track vehicle. We are excited to be a part of the MegaBot Challenge.
The Mark II is pretty top-heavy, and right now these legs are controlled by a couple of levers. We need to be able to keep our balance when we take a punch. That's where IHMC comes in.
We have decades of experience with dynamic balancing robots.
When we're done with the Mark II, it's going to float like a butterfly and sting like a charging rhinoceros.
We're going to need more than this racing harness to keep us alive. NASA has experience with that.
I've worked on every robotic system to ever drive on the surface of Mars. We're looking at how we might use NASA technology to help keep these guys safe when they take a punch.
This is America's first giant combat robot. She needs a fresh set of armor plates and a sweet paint job so we can make our country proud, and that's where Fawnco has our back.
I've been working in the motion picture industry for over 25 years on series like Star Wars, Matrix, Terminator. Now, we're going to make the MegaBot look like something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster.
We're going to need the right tools to build this robot, and Autodesk has us covered.
We've been working with the MegaBots guys since the beginning. We're going to make sure they have all the hardware and software they need to take on Japan.
Finally, we have some killer advisors who are helping make this dream an epic reality.
Seeing giant fighting robots has always been a personal dream of mine, which is why I'm going to do everything possible to help make this happen.
By supporting this competition, not only will you be helping America win this challenge, but you're going to be moving the entire field of robotics forward.
America, this is your robot. It's time to kick in and help support this cause.
Support Team USA. Buy your MegaBots gear, come see the robot in person, or even suit up to pilot this beast.
After this video is over, you have a choice. Watch another cat video on YouTube, or make your childhood dreams come true. What's it going to be? just a few months, we're going to strap into America's first fully functional, giant piloted robot to fight Kuratas and try to not die. This canopy could get blasted to pieces, or a giant robot fist could pummel straight through it.
Or we could just suffer a traumatic brain injury when we hit the ground.
Because of this, we're putting the Mark II through some scientific tests to see if our driver will survive this fight.
How do you make sure your giant robot can take a cannonball to the face? Well, we don't have another gun, so we're just gonna rip its arm off and shoot it with that.
We've made custom paint cannonballs that are designed to hit hard and blind our opponent. Now we need to make sure a pilot can survive them. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All this shooting and smashing looks great on camera, but unless we know what it does to a person, we haven't learned anything. That's why we've recruited this unpaid volunteer to sign a stack of waivers and agree to subject themselves to unreasonable G-forces. To give you some context, when you stand on the surface of Earth, you're always experiencing 1 G of force. A sneeze is about 3 Gs. A really intense impact of 100 Gs, like in football, can give you a concussion. Now, NASA tells us that over a slightly longer period of time, even 40 Gs can kill you. We can measure these Gs with these accelerometers on our volunteer. Oh my God, it's terrifying up here.
Okay, Rob, side shift a tiny bit that way. Tiny bit this way. All right. I feel like I just lined up a crotch shot. Everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my God. I'm pretty sure it came out the top of the robot.
That thing just blew straight through.
Wow. Let's aim a little higher and see if it bounces off. Three, 2, 1, go!
Wow. Oh, man. The results are in, and they don't look so great. According to our data, both impacts would have killed the pilot. Taking into account the G's on the pilot and their duration, we calculated something called the head injury criterion. Now, a higher HIC value means a higher chance of injury or death. The second impact had an HIC value of over 4,500. That means instant death. And we know our cockpit wasn't built for this, but we didn't expect to die from paint. Isn't science great?
How do you make sure your giant robot can take a punch? Well, we started with some calculations. Our worst case scenario is Mark II and Kuratas driving towards each other at top speed while Kuratas is throwing a punch. We don't have a Kuratas to test with, but we got the next best thing. Kuratas isn't the same as a wrecking ball. Kuratas is much lighter and much faster. But the important thing is the momentum of both collisions will be the same. Start her up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Hell yeah! That was a good hit. Got a little bit of tipping there. I definitely think we need some more speed, though. Damn! Oh! Oh, that was close! There, now it's now it's getting dangerous. Oh!
The robot looks surprisingly stable. The good news is the punching data showed that those impacts were severe but survivable. The canopy took a beating, but it looks like our pilot's probably still alive. Now, the robot seems stable, but falling over with us inside is pretty much a worst-case scenario. So we're gonna go ahead and try and knock it over and see what happens.
Come on. And yeah, yes. No.
Come on!
It's so hard to tell where the tipping point is.
Give it one more really good hit. One more time.
Oh,
God damn it!
let's just flip this thing.
This is dedicated to everyone who's ever called us unstable.
Yeah!
Woo! Here we go!
There it is! Stay down!
Holy crap. Wow. I think all things considered, this looks like it's still in one piece. The canopy's a little bit screwed up and the shocks fell off and this hinge is busted up, but I think we're pretty good at building robots overall.
I think that's true, but I think our pilot's pretty unhappy.
Yeah.
You know, both legs are broken.
Maybe it's like a yoga pose or something.
All right, let's go look at the data.
Cool.
Creating the giant robots of science fiction is no small task. We want to believe that the robots from video games and movies are right around the corner, but the truth is, we still got a long way to go. Today, MegaBots is taking the first steps towards making giant mech combat a reality.
This isn't a walk in the park. There's no giant fighting robot industry or experts in the field. Yet we have to be careful in our design process because mistakes could cost us millions of dollars or worse, someone's life.
In case you missed it, we previously looked at how our old Mark II robot would do in combat. Unfortunately, in almost every test, our pilots either got seriously injured or died. And that's why we have to build an entirely new robot from scratch. Meet the Mark III. The key redesign features of the Mark III are pilot safety, modular arms, agility and advanced controls, and stability and traction. Welcome back to MegaBots headquarters. We are here and we are ready to put the heavy lift arms onto our final torso. We have the first final pieces of the Mark III robot ready to go and ready to start testing.
Well, we got one arm on.
The heavy lift arms are designed to be general purpose, high capacity arms that can attach any tool or weapon we want up to 2,000 pounds. Over the past few weeks, we have been designing, we have been welding stuff together, we've been machining parts, we've assembled little bits and pieces of the robot to test, from shoulders to individual actuators to elbows, and then we assembled the left arm really quickly just to see if anything would go wrong. We tested it in the rain at midnight just to see if it would work. It's going.
It's going. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
But now we're ready to attach the two arms and be done with this part of the robot.
This right here is MegaBots Mission Control. We've been taking the software that IHMC's been writing and making sure that it can communicate with all the components inside the robot. This process is called system integration. It's kind of like setting up a home network and making sure that all the computers and devices and printers can talk to each other on that network. Outside, we're readying the track base to use as our primary source of power for our upcoming tests.
So we've got a track base that's now providing hydraulic power. We've got a robot behind me that needs hydraulic power. So we're gonna use 4 50-foot-long, 1-inch hoses to connect the two to see if we can get things to move around.
We're building the Mark III from the bottom up and the top down. So we have our track base. We know it generates 4,000 PSI at 120 gallons per minute. And we're trying to integrate it with the top half of the robot to get it working.
Okay, e-stop power is wired. I think the left torso's good. How's that one looking?
Yeah, this one looks great. So
Sweet.
basically everything's wired up right now, so if you want to test,
Awesome.
do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've been waiting for 6 months to do this.
Oh boy.
Right now, Rob's bringing out the top half of the Mark III on top of what we call the Tower of Death. The Tower of Death is a test platform that holds the robot up to its final height once the legs are done. Once we've got it out in the yard, we're going to test all of the actuators on the robot to make sure the software works.
Okay, starting.
Let's try left wrist roll first.
Okay. Okay, so that is left
Wrist roll, yeah. This should be left shoulder yaw. Moving to left elbow pitch. Right shoulder roll. Oh, so that's wrist.
Yep.
Okay, so right shoulder roll was actually right wrist
yaw. Yep.
Right shoulder yaw, unlocking now. So that is right shoulder pitch. We've just spent all day testing each joint and actuator in the robot. We think we have all of the bugs ironed out. Up next is complex coordinated motion with both arms. According to our calculations, this thing should be able to lift an entire vehicle, so that's what we're gonna do next.
0 to wing in 3, 2, 1. Wing to grab in 3, 2, 1.
Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Yes.
Nice.
Ready for lift?
I think we're ready for lifting.
Grab to lift in 3, 2, 1.
Holy yes! All right, let's move it around.
Oh my God.
Oh, God. Oh, there it goes. Oh my God, look at that thing. We tore that apart. That looks awesome.
Looks like we are okay at our jobs. I think this one's a wrap.
Yeah, we got a lot to do. Let's keep moving.
Got another half of the robot to build.
Yep.
Radio check, this is Eagle Prime. Command, are you reading? Affirmative, Eagle Prime. Command is reading. We've just uploaded the latest Mark III class firmware, so she's gonna feel a little more frisky today. Don't get too cocky. You're clear to power on. Power plant online. Control system online. Valves online. All systems nominal. Ready to begin, Command. Stand by. Bay door opening. Negative, man. We'll take it from here. Don't scratch the paint. Looking good. Thanks for not knocking the doors off. You're clear. Free to stand. My favorite part. testing yard. We have a few surprises for you today. The trial begins in 3, 2, 1.
Channel's real smooth.
I got visual on a wall of barrels up ahead. Yeah, I see it. Let's just gun it. Okay, bracing for impact. Very subtle.
You have 6 targets to engage, Eagle Prime. We were all out of barn doors. Missed one. Your last shot is experimental. Don't miss. Yeah!
Well done, Eagle Prime. Just one more objective to go. Take out the enemy MegaBot.
It's about time.
Got anything else, Command? Negative, Eagle Prime. Nice work out there. Bring her home.
It's the dawn of a new age. For millennia, mankind has tested their limits with fists and gloves. In the world's oldest sport, fighting. Our world has been forged by the hammer of technological progress.
We choose to go to the moon.
We have always dreamed about what the future would hold. And we have used technology to make those dreams come to life. For decades, we've imagined giant fighting machines built in our image. That technology is finally here. The age of giant fighting robots has arrived. 2 teams, a world apart, are about to do battle. It's time for the Giant Robot Duel.
Welcome to the steel mill. So we are inside this venue in Japan, originally designed to pour steel, and now we are here to break it. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Expect the unexpected. What you will see today is the first of its kind. My partner, robotics expert, Sarah Naderi, what will we see in these duels?
These are the largest, heaviest combat robots on Earth. Imagine being able to move around a car as if it was nothing.
The first giant robot in Japan, Kuratas. The hit will duel against not one, but two MegaBots from Team USA. And for more on the strategies, we check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Mari Takahashi.
Thanks, Mike. I'll be connecting with both teams throughout the duel to get their strategy, seeing how they're feeling. Emotions are high down here, and it is tense, but there's also a huge level of excitement. I mean, this is a culmination of years of dedication and hard work. It is going to be a dope battle. We'll see you soon.
I've been playing giant fighting robot games since I was a kid. This has been the dream since middle school. It's like making that science fiction come to life. I never thought it was possible, but like, here we are.
大人になった時に必ずもうロボット、巨大ロボットがいるような世界にいるんだと思ってたんだけど、それがなかったから、来てなかったから自分でやってみようかなって思った感じですね。
Giant fighting robots have been a dream for a whole generation of people, really.
Our goal was robot combat from the very beginning. We built Iron Glory to fight at long range and stuck big guns on it.
We really wanted our first fight to be huge, so we went straight to the top and challenged Japan to a giant robot fight.
Suidobashi, we have a giant robot, you have a giant robot. You know it needs to happen. We challenge you to a duel.
そう作った時から戦いたいなと思ってたんだよね。いきなりアメリカから来ちゃったから、まあしょうがねえやるかみたいな感じですね。
When they upped the ante to hand-to-hand combat, we realized we actually needed a whole new robot. We solved this the American way. We built a heavier, bigger, more powerful, and way louder machine to beat the snot out of the opposition. That's what we're here to do. That's what everybody's here to see.
There's a huge amount of people who want to see this happen, and to give it to them in their lifetime is insane.
Two years ago, MegaBots challenged Suidobashi to a giant robot duel featuring Iron Glory. Suidobashi accepted the challenge, but on one condition. He wanted to fight hand-to-hand combat. So, after years of research and development, Eagle Prime was designed specifically to go hand-to-hand against Kuratas. Suidobashi came back and said, wait, I still want to fight Iron Glory. So we will feature not one, but two duels. Suidobashi's Kuratas will fight twice tonight against two different MegaBots. All right, here's how you win. Knock down your opponent, disable their robot, and if for any reason their pilot taps out, you take the match. Let's check back in with Mari, who's with Team MegaBots.
Now, you guys are about to engage in the first ever giant robot duel. How are you feeling?
A lot has led up to this moment. We're really happy to be here, and I cannot wait to finally get these robots to start pummeling each other. I'm really pumped.
Nice. Now, let's talk about game plan. What is your strategy going in?
Shoot the big guns as quickly as possible. That's the name of the game here. These things are, the paint cannonballs do a ton of damage. I'm gonna stay light on the joysticks and just try to unload as quickly as possible.
Nice. Now, looking at the Kuratas robot, do you see a weakness in its build?
Yeah, I would say everything.
Ooh, those be fighting words. Anything else you want to add?
I would just like to thank our fans who've been following us for 3 years now, and for the Iron Glory, our sponsors Autodesk, Fusion 360, A360, and for Parker Hannafin for bringing us out here.
Good luck to you guys.
Matt Orline and Guy Cavalcante say that Iron Glory embraces a Western style of fighting. Big guns, brute force, heavy steel, and designed for the highlight reel knockout.
I mean, right, just look at those cannons. That right arm can shoot a 3-pound paint cannonball at 130 miles per hour. they have to shoot fast and ask questions later.
Kuratas, Japan's first giant robot, mirrors the Eastern style of combat designed to take down a much larger opponent, utilizing speed, agility, and hand-to-hand combat capabilities.
Kuratas definitely has the advantage of speed, and pair that with his half-ton fist, and I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that punch.
All right, let's check back in with Mari, who's with Team Suidobashi.
メガボッツのチームはクラタスの弱点は全てだって何か言い返すことありますか？
その自信の根拠がちょっと分かんないですね。だってうち日本のロボットですよ。勝てるわけないじゃない。
そうですよね。なら今日はドキドキしますか？
メガボッツと戦うことがドキドキするというよりも、このロボットに乗って初めて戦うってことがちょっとドキドキはしてます。
なら最後にメガボッツのチームに何か言いたいことありますか？
多分あっさり倒されると思うからシートベルトしっかり締めて。
おお、もう大変楽しみにしてます。
ありがとうございます。
It's time for duel number 1, Iron Glory versus Kuratas. Let's meet the bots. Our tale of the tech. Iron Glory, 15 feet tall when standing, weighs 6 tons, powered by a 24 horsepower engine. It's loaded with cannon ammunition and a missile launcher. Kuratas weighed 4 tons initially. It's been upgraded to 6.5 tons. Most significantly, the addition of a half-ton punching arm. Powered by an 87 horsepower engine, it reaches a top speed of 18 miles per hour. And now we go down to the battlefield. On one side, Team USA, MegaBots Incorporated with Iron Glory. On the other side, we have Team Japan, Suidobashi Heavy Industry with Kuratas. We are set for this historic first ever battle between 2 giant fighting robots. Science fiction comes to life. Kuratas, Iron Glory, here we go. It looks like Iron Glory is standing up, while Kuratas proceeds forward relentlessly. He wants to close the distance as quickly as possible. Look at that left arm come up. They're looking for the highlight reel knockout.
Closing in. You got him.
Firing! Kuratas utilizing his speed advantage. And it's over, just like that. And here comes the MegaBots crew. Let's hope Matt and Guy are okay. Guy is out of the cockpit. This was a stunning defeat for Team MegaBots. Matt seems to be fine as well.
Give him there. I'm like shaking right now. Okay. Yep.
That sucked. Let's go down to Mari. She's caught up with Suidobashi.
本当にぶちましたね。どういう気分ですか今？
怖かった。もうなんかもう手ちょっと震えちゃって。
もう中に入ってる時、クラタスと心合体した感じしました？
いやもうそれどころじゃなかったね。もうよくわかんないからとりあえずまっすぐ行って殴るんだと思ったんだけど。
まあ次はイーグルプライムです。タクティクス変わりますか？
今回多分倍になってくるから重量が多分そんなに簡単に倒れないと思うんですよ。だからちょっとまあ作戦はちょっと言えないで。
わかりました。まあこのバトルでは感動しましたよ。
ありがとうございます。
頑張ってください。
Let's check out the Duel 1 replay.
It looks like Iron Glory's cannonball actually broke in the barrel. It had no effect on Kuratas. Matt was trying to aim 2 guns simultaneously. Looks like he couldn't line up the missile launcher in time.
Whether or not that cannonball hit, Kuratas was just coming in way too fast.
And given how much momentum Kuratas had, that punch was destined to knock Iron Glory down.
All right, back to Mari, who's with Team MegaBots.
You guys, that was insane. Are you physically okay right now?
The fall was pretty tough. As soon as I saw the robot coming in and felt it going over, I grabbed my helmet and tried to brace myself. It was over pretty fast.
That battle is not how you thought it was gonna go. How are you feeling about your defeat?
I mean, they got in close. Did what he was gonna do.
You've got Eagle Prime coming in now. It was built for this exact battle. How do you think your strategy is gonna change?
We have the weight advantage for the next robot. I'm hoping the next battle goes better.
Good luck to you guys. Back to you, Mike.
Today, I'm going to show you how to get Pokemon foil cards. Make a plan, get a team, and work fast. And got him!
Who got him? Find Pokemon trading card game cards inside select boxes of General Mills cereal.
New Nerf rival Nemesis.
So it's 1-0 Japan, Kuratas and Team Suidobashi. Sarah, remember we talked earlier about how Kuratas was specifically designed to break down or take out Iron Glory. And it's no surprise they utilized their speed advantage and a very precise attack. But now it's prime time. Time for Eagle Prime, and this Megabot is certainly built for metal-to-metal combat.
I mean, it has so many upgrades. It can fire 6 times the cannonballs, it has modular weapons, and software upgrades.
All right, tell me about these software upgrades and what we can expect to see.
If you think about it like robot anatomy, Iron Glory had to manually control every muscle. So 1, 2, 3, it's a little bit slow.
Right.
Eagle Prime, however, can actually have coordinated joint movements. And they have 8 pre-programmed moves, so all Matt has to do is push a button and it will do an uppercut.
The Americans, Team MegaBots, looking to even the score, and we've got the best seat in the house. It's time for duel number 2, Eagle Prime versus Kuratas, our tale of the tech. And we focus solely on Eagle Prime. 16 foot tall when standing, weighs 12 tons, twice as heavy as Iron Glory. And you want to talk about an upgrade, it's 18 times more powerful, from 24 to 430 horsepower.
And don't forget, it's bottom heavy. 60% of its weight is in its base.
Kuratas, Eagle Prime, here we go. And there's the horn. Kuratas moving in, taking cover behind that wall of barrels.
This is the best it's ever felt.
Eagle Prime gets off the first shot, but it looks like it breaks up inside the barrel. The second shot is effective, exposing Kuratas to another attack.
Keep going. I want to close in on him.
Eagle Prime crashes through the barrels.
I bet you they can't even feel that. That robot is 12 tons.
And there's a third shot.
Okay, I hit him. I don't know if it's doing anything, but I hit him.
How about this? Kuratas launches a drone.
It launched a drone. Keep going.
I see it. Don't let it distract you.
They've spotted it. They're going to try to knock it out. And they make contact with it.
It's on. It's stuck on the cockpit.
Look at that. Smoke is pouring out of the drone.
He's coming. I see him coming on the monitors.
Get me to the car. Let's block him with the car.
Finding a huge right hook on the top vehicle there, and it comes crashing down.
Team MegaBots is really taking advantage of the 430 horsepower that they have. That allows Matt and Guy to really control the arena with that arm.
Okay, go around the car, a little more, really clearing it. He's coming for us.
Eagle Prime, Kuratas, engage in close combat. A big body shot by Kuratas. Keep in mind, that steel fist is 600 pounds. And another body shot. Kuratas looking to do damage. Eagle Prime counters with the claw. Oh, firing a big shot. That connects. And another. Eagle Prime targeting the midsection of Kuratas. Oh, check this out. Eagle Prime using that cannon as a battering ram, targeting the area on Kuratas that has a lot of sensitive electronics.
I don't think he can move.
Eagle Prime continuing to do damage with that cannon. These armor panels are being torn off of Kuratas.
The robot stopped. Going safe. Locking out.
Wait a second.
Engine on.
All right, the robots now appear to be stuck.
All right, we really need to swap this cannon out.
So Kuratas and Eagle Prime are basically stuck. In fighting terms, they're stuck in the clinch.
Right, it looks like they hit the E-stop, which immediately shut down both robots.
So now it's time to reset, retool, and continue the duel. All right, let's check back in with Mari, who's with Kurata-san.
倉田さん、もうイーグルプライム殴りましたね。どんな感じでした？
殴ったね。ガンガン感触もあったし、多分多少は効いたと思うけど、やっぱりちょっと体重負けしてる気がするね。
そうですね。で、目つぶし作戦はどう思いました？よくいきました？
そこまでは規定通りうまくいってる。ただその後がちょっとうまくない。
で、次のラウンドに入るんですけども、この指大変もう残念ですよね。相当ダメージが起こってます。
やっぱ物作る人にはね、ちょっと手って結構象徴的だから、ちょっと屈辱感じるし、なんかやっておりますよ。
こんなダメージ起こってるんですけども、まだ勝てますか？
大丈夫、ぶっ壊します。
かっこいいです。頑張ってください。
Let's take a look at the Duel 2 replay. After a cannon malfunction, Eagle Prime gets off a beautiful shot.
You can see Kurata's armor took a hell of a beating from the opening shot.
Kuratas counters with the distraction technique, utilizing a drone. But that doesn't stop Eagle Prime from delivering a massive blow to the Tower of Cars, leaving a trail of destruction in the arena. Kuratas moved in and delivered a punch of its own, slamming into that front grille of Eagle Prime as the two robots squared off point blank. Eagle Prime using the cannon any way it can to get an advantage. But these robots are locked together and had to be reset. Let's check back in with Mari, who's with Team MegaBots.
You guys, how was that?
That is how it's done. You grab them, you beat the out of them.
Yeah, you guys had some crazy punches. For all of us who don't get to be in that, what is that like?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. You're getting rocked around. It's kind of a little bit scary as you're kind of anticipating, am I going to fall over if I grab them or if I push too hard? So there's a lot to think about, kind of how you're landing those attacks.
I can only live vicariously through you guys. Now, what did you think of Kuratas' secret weapon?
When I saw it launch, I just remember yelling at Guy, saying, there's a drone, there's a drone. And I really wasn't prepared to see things coming from the sky, but my first reaction was just like, get the claw up, try to swat it. Looks like I hit it, but it ended up on the cockpit anyways.
Now, I see there's a weapon swap going on. What can we expect from Team MegaBots?
So I think we realized that once we get in close, the cannon isn't that effective. I was trying to use it as a battering ram as we were kind of entangled there, but
I think we need to focus on something that can deal a little more damage up close.
I think it's time for some like good old-fashioned American melee. I think that's where this is going.
There you go. Very excited to see you guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Who built this system of satellites to control the weather. Built this system to save mankind.
What the hell happened here? Geostorm, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX 3D.
Both robots are now reset and ready.
All right, let's do this. Get those arms in the air.
Eagle Prime, Kuratas, here we go.
All right, moving forward.
Kuratas getting into position, turning slightly. And Eagle Prime takes the lead here, knocking over barrels with that powerful chainsaw.
Let's go.
That's a 4-foot, 40-horsepower chainsaw, and it was originally designed to cut through rock.
We'll see how Kuratas attempts to deal with this attack.
Okay, he's moving. He's firing, he's firing.
Those 6 barrels can fire up to 2,000 rounds per minute. That could easily take out Eagle Prime's cameras.
Are those paintballs? What are you thinking? Okay, move over to that light truss. Let's try something.
Wow, Eagle Prime has grabbed the lighting truss. It's all coming down, folks. Kuratas keeps unloading on Eagle Prime relentlessly.
Oh my God.
What? Oh, that's awesome.
It's ridiculous. See what he thinks about this. Nice. Engaging. Grab him.
And Zara, that truss gets tossed to the side. Eagle Prime approaches Kuratas, and now it appears a shoving match is taking place.
I got him. I got his arm. I got his hand. This thing got ripped up.
That chainsaw is now activated.
Locking up on his hand. Bumpers are failing.
Taking it down systematically.
Oh my
Man,
God,
they're coming our way. What are you worried about? You're the robotics expert.
That's why I'm scared. I think
What
we
are you
should go.
talking about? Can he get the finish right here?
Oh
Wow!
We're getting close,
This
man.
is crazy.
No, I don't.
What?
no.
What?
I think we
Hold
should
up!
go. No, we're
Get the out of here! I have never seen anything like this. The chainsaw still eating away at Kuratas' shoulder. And we have a winner. Team MegaBots, Eagle Prime. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's how it's done, baby!
You know, it's really amazing, the turn of events that has happened here. Kuratas came out so strong in that first fight, toppling Iron Glory almost immediately. But then the momentum shifted to Team MegaBots. Eagle Prime went on the aggressive, utilized that chainsaw for an outstanding finish. Here comes Kuratas-san, showing great sportsmanship. Big smiles all around, a true class act. History has been made.
Two worthy opponents in the first ever giant robot duel. USA versus Japan. Team MegaBots, how are you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. Obviously things went pretty well for us there. We've got an awesome team. I wanted to thank everybody who helped put this together. It's crazy.
Awesome. It was just an amazing experience. Both fights, I think, were just out of this world. It's what we've been waiting for. This is it.
And Kurata-san, 一言。
すっげえ楽しかった。
What does the future hold?
I think it's time to make this a sports league. I think it's time to get some rules, some weight classes, bring this show on the road. Let's do it. Good fight. Worth it.
Thank you, thank you.
What an amazing spectacle. Back to you, Mike.
So when it is all said and done, Eagle Prime wins the gold at this first ever giant robot fight. For Sara Nadiri and Mari Takahashi, this is Mike Goldberg saying so long from the steel mill in Japan.
Witness the birth of the assassins. Assassin's Creed Origins.
Get the ultimate experience on Xbox One.
Where am I looking?
And we're on.
Alrighty. Welcome everyone to MegaBots headquarters. Before we begin, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching the Giant Robot Duel. I'm Jake, VP of BD here at MegaBots and your host tonight. I'm here with Matt Orline and Guy Cavalcanti, our co-founders and mech pilots. They've risked. I was just gonna say they've risked life and limb to bring you tonight's fight, and I was gonna say let's hold for a round of applause. But yeah, obviously hats off to these guys for making it all possible. This has been 2 years and a couple $1 million in the making, and tonight's tonight. Well, so I guess from there we'll begin tonight's Q&A. I'll start with a few softballs here.
Also, if you want to ask us questions,
yeah.
Ask at MegaBots.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to talk to the winners right now. But if you do have any questions for us, send them to ask@megabots.com. Once again, that's ask@megabots.com. All right. I guess to kick things off,
our email server is going to be overloaded.
It's fucking just. Well, excellent. Obviously, the first question here is the obvious one. How'd you guys come up with this?
We started out by playing a lot of video games as kids, and just sort of like it's MegaBots is sort of this collective childhood dream, right? Like you play these video games, you watch the cartoons, you read the comic books. They feature giant fighting robot battles, and you're always thinking to yourself, like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I lived in a future that included that? And so, the goal has been to make that future a reality. I'm just going to be the one to credit Guy with being the first person to be like, giant fighting robots should be a thing. So maybe you can talk a little bit about.
Yeah, I grew up playing, I grew up super dorky playing BattleTech, the tabletop game, and then playing MechWarrior video games. Went to high school, got into FIRST Robotics, went to college, did a robotics degree, worked at Boston Dynamics where we were making these legged robots, like Big Dog and Petman and Atlas and things like that, and just sat there and realized we could make them arbitrarily large. This is the tech. We could just blow these up, use different types of hydraulic tech to get this big, but it's like the dream come to life. It's so many movies, brought to life as best we possibly can.
Absolutely, it was Gundam for me. But what was it like piloting these robots?
Which part?
Japan. So the battle was in Japan, which we've got from the video. It was the thing I didn't anticipate was it was so hot over there, and we failed to put air conditioning in the robots. We were just in there. It was a sweaty mess, and I just remember having that cockpit closed and being like, why did we not put an air conditioner, or even ventilation? It was just like this sealed off box, and it was just sweaty and miserable the whole time.
The thing, Eagle Prime is so you're riding a 430 horsepower Corvette engine, right, that's redlining. So you're basically in a supercar that's not moving, but redlining, right? And you feel the hydraulic fluid going to the manifolds, so the whole thing is shaking a little bit as the fluid is going in the manifolds and the arms. And then you throw a punch, and the whole robot just throws you around and does this thing. And then it's amazing because it simultaneously doesn't feel like that much. When we were getting punched, even the impact from Kuratas didn't feel like much. It was like a jolt, but then the whole robot moves, right? It's like a catapult, flinging you to the ground, or just rocking back and forth. But you don't feel the hits. You feel the movement of the whole robot happening without you being able to do anything about it.
I kind of compare it to you go to a theme park and you get in a roller coaster or some ride that moves you around a lot. It's there is no amount of pushback you can do with your body to prevent that. Whatever it wants to do to you, you are just at its whim. And so when you're that high up and you're kind of wobbling around and getting hit, it feels like a theme park ride to me.
Sounds like a nightmare to me, but congratulations and appreciate you guys obviously stepping in there. How do you control the robots?
So I'm in the back, I'm the driver. I got 2 joysticks. We like argued for a long time about what the control scheme was going to be. So we ended up making a bunch of control schemes, but the one that I like using is double sticks. So you control the tank treads yourself, and then the left joystick stands and sits the robot. You lean from side to side, and you lean the ankles all with one stick. And so you get this kind of like combination. The driver just does the lower half, and you're just concentrating on like getting the gunner where they need to go, not screwing up their aim, and just doing what you can.
And compared that to Iron Glory, our older robot, it's like, especially in the back seat for the driver, like they're just like 5 levers connected to some valves that you are just wrenching around. There's no electronics in the back seat. It's just like driving old farm equipment. And in the front, there's like, you know, video game joysticks we got on Amazon, like USB joysticks. And so to see the progression from like hacked together farm equipment, Amazon video game stuff to like, you know, weatherized, like industrial grade hardware, and like, it's just like a whole completely different experience.
Excellent. My next question comes in via Twitch, actually. This is Shining Hatsaya. His question comes in is, are there strict weapon rules? Like if ever pneumatic pile drivers are allowed?
So the weapons were kind of a discussion, right? So it's like, nobody is in this to murder the other pilot, right? That's
Not yet.
like rule no. Rule number 1 is like, we're trying to not kill each other. We're in a 12-ton machine. Kuratas-san's in a 6.5-ton machine. Our old machine is 6 tons. Just like a forearm falling off the robot, that's 500 pounds hitting the ground, right? So we did a bunch of testing. This is one of our YouTube videos. We had like the chainsaw, which is a repurposed rock trencher. We had the what we called the dentist, which is a stump grinder. We tested the dentist, and it shredded everything. We built a mock-up of Kuratas, and like quarter-inch plates were flying off the robot. Yeah. The frame was disintegrating. We're like, well, that's really cool. There's no way we're going to put this on the robot because we would murder him, right? So it's this balance, and like you'll notice, you know, we didn't throw punches directly at his cockpit, right? Like, we're trying not to kill the dude. So like, you know, it's this weird combination of like trying to destroy another robot, trying not to kill the guy, right? But like, you know, we're trying to chip away at these robots and take them offline. But it's a strange sport. It's not BattleBots. It's not a one hit, you explode, right? It's like, how do we not punch a chainsaw straight through this guy's cockpit, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we wanted to pick things that were like not going to just end the fight right away, right? No like flamethrowers, no like, you know, spray salt water all over their electronics or something, you know, something like that. Like, the goal is to produce an entertaining fight, and so we chose weapons appropriate to that.
Excellent. You guys, you know, you famously challenged Japan for this duel. You know, have you guys been challenged yourselves? Have you gotten any challenges?
So yeah, we've been talking to like on the order of 24 groups around the world who all want to be building these robots or have robots of their own. So that's coming.
And for those of you watching, perhaps some of those teams we may be fighting next. So make sure you subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There's a mailing list on the website to figure out who we fight next. Also buy some t-shirts.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Giant robots, we need to pay for those.
Ad break ending in 5 seconds,
They look
4
great.
seconds,
They look great, don't
3
they?
seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Okay,
And
we're back.
And back, yeah. Now for a little bit harder question, one that keeps coming up. Why didn't you guys go with a pure live stream?
So every break that you saw there was like a day of repair and reset, right? So like something going wrong on a chainsaw, some like hose leaking at the end of a fight that's like buried inside the track base of the Eagle Prime robot, right? Or like something going wrong is not a fix it on the live stream kind of thing. Like, it is we're here until midnight with the whole team turning wrenches and getting it ready to fight again. And I cannot think of more boring live streams than like sitting there. Like I love John. I don't know where John is, but there you go. I cannot think of a more boring live stream than watching John like slowly turn a number of wrenches across the entire track base.
Coming soon, the John channel. You can subscribe. MegaBots John.
Nothing but wrenches.
Which is like, you just watch him go. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. I got another one coming in from, this one's from Reddit, from Game Lizard. He asks, what cost the most money and what took the most time?
The hydraulics are probably the most, in Eagle Prime, actually in both robots, I think it's definitely the hydraulic systems. You know, just like we're using, especially on Eagle Prime, some of the fastest, highest flow hydraulic valves in the world, and like it is, you know, they're normally meant for very specialized equipment. And that's sort of what enables that like really fluid movement you see in Eagle Prime. So just working with hydraulics is generally pretty expensive. I mean, it's very, very ruggedized equipment that's meant to operate in really harsh environments. You know, this stuff is usually on like construction equipment, mining equipment, that kind of stuff. And so you're looking at like those type of prices. And so
we're talking, just for reference, right? So like Eagle Prime has 26 valves in it. They range in price between $3,500 and $5,000. They mount to custom manifolds that cost $10,000, right? So like that's the level of hardware. And when Matt says fastest valves, he means most responsive, right? So there's like the amount of fluid you can flow, which is like how fast the limb ends up moving, and then there's the frequency the valves can modulate, which is how responsive it is. So if you want like a giant walking robot, you need the fastest responding valves in the world to keep balance. Right, so what we did here is we said we just need the best responding valves for like coordinated motions of the arms, the legs, things like that. And now we need to think about how to back that off so it doesn't cost the like millions of dollars in hardware and labor to make these
science lesson here on the live stream.
Absolutely. Big question here is, guys, has there ever been any injuries? Anyone get hurt?
I had a battery explode in my face at some point. I think this was during
Comic-Con?
Comic-Con New York. So like way back in the early days.
3 years ago.
Wow, that was a long time ago. We built part of Iron Glory. At the time, we called it the Mark I, and it was basically like half a robot that kind of sat on a trailer. And you know, at this time, it was just like a few dudes trying to start this crazy thing. And so we brought the Mark I out to Comic-Con New York, and I remember there was this big tray of batteries that were sitting underneath. Sitting inside this thing that it was powered by batteries, so you could operate it inside. And there was like this plywood board with like some C-clamps that were holding, I don't know, like a hydraulic pump or something like that. And I remember it fell, and the C-clamps like arced across the battery terminals, and the robot stopped working. And I kind of like looked in there to see what was going on, to see just like sparks flying inside this battery cage. And that was right when a lead acid battery just like exploded inside there, and I just like ducked out of there as quickly as possible. I got a little bit of acid on my face, but I was able to kind of like wipe it off quickly to not be deformed.
Since then, we have cared a lot more about safety. I do want to say that like this team in this facility, like we do take that very seriously at this point, because like again, the robots are now 12 tons. So everybody here is now like super laser focused on like, Eagle Prime has 5-point harnesses. Eagle Prime has, all of these safety mechanisms we designed to Army ingress and egress standards. And like, the early days were like crazy, let's just build a robot as quickly as possible. Now it's like, okay, there are 16 people working here. We got to make sure everybody's taken care of and safe. And like, we want to do dangerous things with the robots we build. We don't want to build them dangerously. It's a big difference. But yeah, I mean, even where like at the duel itself, right? It's still like we had sat there and done the math and figured out what it would take to be safe in the robots. So.
Well, clearly it paid off. I mean, guys always took a big hit there, and vice versa, inflicting a lot of damage on Kuratas. What was up with that eagle? Got a giant eagle on the shoulder of the bot?
Stylistic choices. So, I mean, come on, we're representing the USA in a giant robot duel, and what is like the most American symbol is a giant eagle. So,
Or a cheeseburger.
Our original concept art for Eagle Prime, and back then it wasn't even called Eagle Prime, it was just called Mark III. But the concept art for Eagle Prime actually had 2 eagles on the shoulders, and we wanted to put like some kind of chain guns inside the mouths or like flamethrowers or something crazy like that. And so that was just kind of the result of like, we have to keep at least some of that craziness from that concept art. And so that's what carried through. And so it's sort of comic in nature, but you know, it's...
we do have something that goes in it. It was not done for the duel. I think that will be a surprise for like maybe a live stream later. We don't have 2 eagles because we wouldn't be able to get into the robot if we had 2 eagles. We found that out the dumb way. And so we have the one on the shoulder, which we take off or put on, but we have something that we really want to put in there and test out pretty soon.
And for this next one, I might need earmuffs from Matt and Guy's mom and dad. But what is the stupidest thing you've ever done with the robots?
Definitely put giant knives on it and chop a piano and a washing machine and I think a tiki hut at some point. So we did. There's a YouTube video you can watch.
Yeah,
it.
that
It's on our
was
YouTube
with
channel.
Simone Yetch, the queen of shitty robots. We built giant knives to imitate her chopping machine and scale them up to 500 pounds.
Yeah, ridiculous. That was a very fun day. It was just like, let's just see what crazy crap the robot can chop up.
Excellent. Something about a bird sanctuary is what I heard of. We're not going to talk about it. That's for the next Q&A.
That's for a different audience.
Stay tuned. So how many people work at MegaBots?
16,
17, something like 17 full-time. 18.
18.
19. 20. It just keeps going up.
I think we are hiring. What powers the robots?
Gasoline engines.
Gas engines, which we are soon switching because gas engines overheat. So Iron Glory is powered by a 24 horsepower little engine driving a gear pump. Eagle Prime is driven by a Corvette engine. So we actually worked with a group called How and How Technologies. They make tanks out in Maine, and they put in an LS engine into the track base. And then we decided we wanted something even bigger, and we put in a LS3. And so now we're at a 430 horsepower driving those pumps. So.
Did you guys ever take it electric or hybrid? Or?
Ooh. Well, we definitely want to take a diesel. That is the right answer for like big equipment. We want to make it electric, but I think, Miles, do you remember what the electric number was, the battery pack? 1.2 gigawatts.
1.2 gigawatts.
Like actually, if you zapped a DeLorean with it, you would go into the...
Yeah,
We'll be going 88.
I think like realistically, there's like some application of like if we want to run these things inside conference halls and stuff like that, having just like a small external electric power plant that you can sort of plug in is super useful, but it's going to run a lot slower. But that's like
I think a Formula E battery pack. We were looking at this. A Formula E battery pack would give us about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of runtime if we had a pure electric motor driving the robot.
Excellent. So for all the fans out there, how did they become a pilot?
Subscribe to our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
5,
YouTube,
4, 3,
mailing list.
2,
very, very
1.
important. We'll be announcing
And
more
we're
about
back.
that soon. And here we are.
Great. And obviously the big one here is what's the favorite part of your job?
For me, I think it's like giving people this feeling of like, holy shit. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. Well, whatever. I said it. Too late. It's live. I live in this future that I never thought was going to be possible. So like we're all about sort of bringing childhood dreams to life, and when people kind of experience MegaBots for the first time, whether it's seeing the robot in person or watching some of our YouTube content, they're just like, holy crap, I never thought this would, like, you're fighting another country? Like, what? Like, it's just, it's crazy.
So I think for me, my background is coming from a defense contractor, right? Like, we made projects for the military, and like, they were ultimately only ever prototypes, and they weren't really going to go anywhere. They're very complex, right? It's very hard to bring that kind of complex robot to a level of robustness where they can be used in the field. And if previously, if you're a robotics company in the US, you get money from the military, right? And so you develop for the military, and that's fine. There's another path of making these kind of like consumer gadgets, right? Like make low-cost robots that, vacuum floors and things like that. But those are kind of like the big paths in the US for making a robotics company. And I think like both of our dreams here is like, there has to be more to it, right? Like we live in the future. We've been watching science fiction movies. We've been playing the games. We've been watching the TV shows for like 60 some odd years that feature this kind of stuff. And like what are we doing with our technology, right? Like, are we just making military prototypes? Are we just making like little appliances? Or are we like actually creating the future that we want to be in? And like this is a first step. Yeah. This is like where it starts. This is identifying the technology, figuring out how to make these dreams come to life, but it's a commitment to that, right? It's saying like, yep, we start here. Who knows where the hell we end up? But like, at the end of the day, if we're not concentrating on it, if we're not working on it, if we're not doing it, it's never gonna get done. It's not gonna happen magically that like Optimus Prime steps out of the movie screen and says like, all right, you're about to actually be invaded by aliens and I'm here to stop it, right? Like it's hard work to actually do the thing. And that's what brings me so much joy in this job is like figuring out how do we do that? How do we get there?
Well, I think that was a first step, second step, and third step because that was a lot of fun, and I think that turned out great. One thing I like to do from here is just kind of a fast round. Just final fast questions, one or the other here. First one, Mech Warrior or Titanfall?
Mech Warrior.
Mech Warrior.
Sorry.
Easy decision.
Just old school. Yeah.
All right. This one actually comes in through Reddit. End of Century wrote this. Gundam or Pacific Rim?
Pac Rim.
I enjoy the process of getting drunk and watching Pacific Rim.
There you
but
go.
That is the only context in which I will watch it.
Charlie Hunnam's acting, though, is just amazing. The chain sword or the dentist?
Ooh. Dentist.
I like the dentist for sure. Yeah.
We felt a little sad
Yeah.
not making a weapon out of it.
This one's for Guy. Boston or the Bay Area?
Ooh. Ooh. I'm going to go with the Bay Area.
Yeah, there we go.